Hello, it's Lana from Sage and Sound here with day 5 of your perfectionism challenge. So what we're working on today is increasing the self-compassion part of challenging your inner critic. And the way that we're going to do this is to kill your role models. So often when we are really self-critical, what we do is we tend to compare ourselves to other people, but we pick and choose who we compare ourselves to. So for example, you compare the activities you do with your kids to someone who's a stay-at-home mum, even though you're working. Or you're expecting yourself to be like someone who works full-time in their job, even though you're trying to balance part-time work and family life. You know, you compare the neatness of your house to somebody who gets a cleaner and regular help in. You compare your body and your diet to what you see on Instagram with people who do that as their job full time. And by comparing yourself to lots of different people like this, it's really easy to feel like you're not achieving enough. But what you need to understand is that there is no one person that's excelling in all of these areas. So if we're going to compare ourselves to lots of different role models, of course we're going to come up short, and of course we're going to feel bad about ourselves and feel like we have to push harder. So the idea is that we're going to kill off all the role models but one. So that requires us to prioritize, to figure out which area of my life is actually most important to me right now. Am I focusing on family? Am I focusing on work? Am I focusing on my health and fitness? What matters the most to me right now? Then choose a role model from that area. As I said before at the start, there's nothing wrong with having high standards. So it's fine to have a role model and be aiming towards being a better person in that particular area that you've chosen. But for all the other areas, we're going to cut ourselves some slack. And then that comes back to being able to be kinder to yourself as you take time and effort away from some of those areas that you're not focusing on right now. It's not for forever. It doesn't mean you have to give up your efforts completely. It's just about challenging the criticism towards yourself in terms of not being good enough because you're not as good as these people in those areas. So if you're going to choose something like work, then, you know, when you don't do so well with health and fitness or family, you talk kindly to yourself. You say things like, well, that's okay. I'm focusing on work right now. I'll get back on track in that area in a little while. Or you can tell yourself things like, nobody can exceed in every area of life. My focus at the moment is work. So you take that soft, kind approach to yourself and you only let yourself choose one role model. Might mean unsubscribing from some Instagram or Facebook accounts. It might mean changing the way that you interact with certain people to make sure that you're in your own head when you go in that you're not going to compare yourself to them, that you remind yourself it's okay if I don't do things as well or to the standards that this person does. At the moment, my focus is work or family, whatever it is. And in that way, you're kind of going to remind yourself that you don't need to feel bad if you're not coming up to the standards of somebody else. You just focus on one area and you're kind to yourself about not being there yet and not being as good as some other people in some other areas. So that's today's challenge, to find your most important area and to let go of your role models in any other area. That's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow for a different exercise. Take care.